news for us. Could take the hammer. Lifelink is reasonable. How many things do we have to carry the hammer? We have some. I'm going to put it on the board, though. I'm not sure we're running it. Cloud. You know, this thing is not bad for our deck. Although it's white-white, so I'm going to put it in the board. But we'll consider you. If we get some really good white fixing in our last pack, we'll run the day and maybe even Cloud Goat. I would run Righteous and Day first before the Cloud Goat. But if we can get into some really good fixing for white-white, we'll definitely consider it. Chromatic Lantern does that. Other considerations, gifts. We can get a pretty stock gifts hand. We can just get 4 good stuffs. Be like, okay, I want Kronos, I want Tamio, I want Engine, I want Duplicant. Pick 2, you have to deal with the other 2. So this could be definitely a solid gifts deck. Brago in this deck, it's okay. He's okay. I'd almost rather just do a good stuff's gift pile on 4 mana than a Brago. Lantern lets us, though, really branch out and really make a 3-color deck happen, and then we can definitely run maybe Confluence. You can definitely run the Day if you take the Lantern. If we don't take Lantern, it's very possible. We already saw Tundra. Tundra already happened. So, I mean, how good is the gifts in the Brago in our deck? They can definitely be very good. But if we don't take something like Lantern, it's one of the very few artifacts that was left that fixes your colors. Our colors are starting to be strained if we want to consider a red and a white card. So I definitely made a case for the Lantern. It's also one of the very few non-green ramp spells. There's a Factor Fiction, very strong. Titan is a fine finisher, although I think we're good on finishers. Spear is another spell for the Scepter. Factor Fiction is really nice. We have a lot of 4-drops. I don't really want to get run over. If we don't take enough removal, we do probably just get run over. We could actually take some counterspells. Lantern is strong fixing, and it's some of the only ramp that they've left in the cube. I actually think we should consider this Dissipate. I haven't picked very much counter magic at all. The only counter magic we've really taken is Glen and Daze. We probably won't run the Daze because of our mana base. Like, look at this. None of these are islands. That's 3 non-islands that we want to run. So I could definitely see Dissipate. I could also see Factor Fiction. I'm going to take the Dissipate. A lot of great cards for us in this pack. I only took a small glance at it, but I'm already excited. So Fire Ice is one of the stupidest things you could put on Isochron Scepter. Do I need to kill things? If so, use the Fire side. Okay, do I need to draw a card this turn? If so, use Ice side. I would even take the Fire Ice over the Temple of Triumph. It's just so nutty with what we're doing. It's also another cheap interacting card, and I'm worried that we don't have... Oust is another consideration, but the fact that we could put this on the Scepter just really tickles. It's just too much fun. I'm sorry. The other picks were reasonable, but that's just too much fun. You take the Falls. You just take Falls. I know Vendilion Clique is sweet. I know Remove Soul is potentially really sweet. But look at our fixing. If games we don't see the Lantern, we're going to be hurting. Fire Ice is everything I ever wanted. Yeah, man. I mean, Vendilion Clique is great. Soul is great, but we have to start taking some fixing. Some more fixing. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart. Okay, Threads or Mystic. Do we want another counterspell or do we want another mind control effect? A lot of the creatures that we would enchant with Threads were probably just burning or killing otherwise. I would consider the Confluence. We didn't take very many counter spells at all. I haven't seen many good counter spells. Oh, you could also consider the Temple. This is a Scryland. It's not perfect for our colors, though. You give me some Confluence. This is just really flexible. I don't know if I'm feeling the Sphinx's Rev anymore. Alright, Pierce, Teferi, Tax. All reasonable. We'll side out the Tax when we're not on the play, probably, if we were to pick this. It would make our fixing very, very happy. Kindle. Nice. Could consider the Spell Pierce. Teferi's also fun. I think it's between Pierce... to be honest with you, I think it's between Pierce and Tax. Maybe you consider the Spirit Keeper as well. This guy's actually not terrible. He goes wide, which turns on our opposition. Oh no, it's in your graveyard, never mind. Don't really want to play against Living Death. think you take the Pierce and hope. Right, there's a Wrath, there's a Venser. Both good for our deck. How much value do we really get out of this Venser? What are we exiling? We can exile Chase, a Muldrifter if it's hard cast, which would be on 5. We can Venser. I can Venser the Scepter to reset what spell is on it. I don't think we have enough synergy for Venser. I can Venser. Yeah, I think we take the Wrath. Dark Depths. I'm going to take the Wrath and we'll see if we can get some more white fixing in the last few picks. There's a top. Would you take top over the Temple? How many fetches? I didn't get very many fetches. Although, being able to see the top cards and draw the right card each turn has a lot of value. Or you could take the better fixing. I like top. This is a really late top. I think it's Temple or top or maybe Elspeth, but I think we have a lot of finishers. I think we'll be okay. Elspeth, of course, has good synergy with opposition, though. You minus her and you've got a bunch of stuff for the opposition. Steinfield says it's not an opposition deck at this point. Yeah, you could board it. You don't have to run it. Brago came back. Relic. I mean, I don't know how much synergy I have for Brago. I don't think I'd run it if I got it, so I kind of want to just take Relic for the sideboard so we can bring it in against Reanimator. If we happen to go up against a Reanimator opponent. Mana War is fun. Spear's a consideration because we're a Scepter deck, but Factor Fiction is a lot of value. This is just a really solid draw spell. It allows us to hold up our Dissipate or Confluence, but still have a play. Spear, again, might be the pick, though, because we went on a Scepter build. We really want to have... Okay, Temple came back. War Leader's Helix came back. Although, I'd probably just bring it in against something aggressive. Threads, that's a sideboard card as well. Land Tax came around. Maybe we play it when we know we're on the play. I would board it, and maybe when we know, who's going first, we can board it in. Yeah, Crusader was also a good pick, too. But since we've already decided we didn't build an opposition deck, I think I like where we are. Blue-white-red control. Excuse me, blue-red control. With maybe a hint of white. I don't think we pulled off the white enough to merit... I think we didn't get there with our white. And that's okay. Like, enough to run the Day of Judgment and the Wrath. I wish we could, I just don't think we got there with our fixing. And there are other ways to handle permanence. We can bounce it, we can take control of creatures. You know, as long as we're able to bounce or counterbalance the problematic permanence, we should be in the clear. So this would be a 17 land deck, if we were to run it as is. We're definitely going to make some cuts here and there. We definitely pulled off the Scepter. That really excites me. We've got 5 really solid targets. The Spell Pierce doesn't have to be main, by the way. Old Drifter actually curves more so here. So actually, how bad is our curve if we think about it that way? Let's also put the tap lands where they would fall. Falls, ideally in this deck, isn't going to be tapped, though, but Temple definitely will be. Can we run this as a 17 land deck? I don't think so. Even with the scry and the topping. I feel like you'd still want this to be 18 land. Like, as far as handling the big creatures, we've definitely got... I mean, okay, if we really think about how many white sources we do have, we have 4, technically. If you want to count Lantern, we have 4. So, you know, is that enough to pull off the Day and the Wrath? I just don't think so, team. I just don't think so. I wish. I just don't think 4 white sources and maybe a Plains or 2 is going to pull off these Wraths and Days. Now, maybe if we know we're up against like a mono creature deck and we know that we're on the draw for land tax, maybe we board in some planes and we try to, you know, because then you essentially have one more thing that gets white for us, like land tax and board in some more planes. But I just don't think it just doesn't feel like it's enough to make that concession. You could also just board the Spell Pierce. You know, it might not be great in the main deck. It is very specific. It's kind of got the whole daze stigma, in my opinion, going with it. You know, again, how many lands do we have that turns on the daze? Not too many. That doesn't turn it on either. I mean, like, yeah, I got one land besides running basic islands that turn on the daze, so it's pretty out of the question. It's Your Boy Paul says you have to start with planes. Right, I think we'll do a decent job controlling the board in other ways. I think we have other ways to control the board. I still think you run the Lantern because it's one of the only non-ramp that it's one of the only ramp that a non-green get to run. I like this. Or Plateau or Confluence. Right, I mean, it's not easy. So let's see. It wants me to put a base of planes in here. I don't think I do. The only white card I'm running main deck is the Helix. I still think you run the Plat and the Temple, because if you can't cast the Helix and you're up against the aggro deck, you're like, well, that's sad. You know? And again, you know, Helix isn't... War Leader's Helix isn't terrible in this format. It's another consideration. I think our nuttiest hands are going to involve Scepter and then either a Planeswalker or Chronos or, you know, what have you. This reminds you of a Palchian. Does it? I think the best things to put on the Scepter by far is Fire Ice, quickly followed by Jet and Helix, and then Spear and Lightning Strike we will put on a Scepter. I'm okay with it. It doesn't make us super happy, but we'll do it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Helix you're going to bring in when you know your opponent is a certain type of archetype. We ended up not running the Ral or the Sphinx, but that's okay. I feel like this is really solid. Let's go get some land. So I'm not going to run the basic planes. I'm going to run... It suggests 4 mountain. Let's see, we've got only one red spell, but it's really important. The Anger in certain matchups is very important. And there's a reason I've main decked it, because we decided not to hedge into white and take the Raz in the days. And there are going to be decks that the Anger is very good against it. So I think... Well, let's see how that looks. So we get one more land. So how many red sources? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 red sources. 11 red sources. How many blue sources? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Needs another island. So, yeah, that looks good. That might even be too much red. Like, you could maybe cut a mountain. Like, let's look at our exclusively blue one more time. Or not exclusive, excuse me. Yeah. Just blue sources in general. It's 12, and then red sources is 10. A 10 to 12 ratio, does that make sense? I think so. Our fixing's not terrible. Yeah, I think that'll get double blue. How do you guys feel about it? And of course there's Lantern to think about as another blue source. I don't know if I piled that in there. I don't think I did. So we're going to save deck as blue, white, red, living the Scepter Dream.